All right, so you've been seeing 222 everywhere lately,
Hmm.
and you're ready to kind of go a little deeper than just like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Want to know if there's a message tucked inside this numerical echo.
Right.
So let's unpack some spiritual interpretations of repeating numbers, specifically 222. No crystal balls here, I promise,
Okay.
but hopefully some aha moments for you.
Sounds good.
Expert speaker, what makes these repeating numbers, like 222, so fascinating in different spiritual traditions?
Well, what's intriguing is how many traditions see these repetitions, these repeating numbers, as a sort of cosmic communication, messages whispered from the universe, a higher power, or however it resonates with you. Like the universe has its own subtle semaphore,
Mm-hmm.
and 222 in particular often points towards harmony,
Okay.
balance, and trust.
So almost like a cosmic course correction,
It's
maybe?
like that.
Because you mentioned feeling overwhelmed and finding balance in our always-on world. I mean, that feels pretty relevant to, like, a lot of us right now.
Precisely.
Hmm.
222 it's almost like an invitation to examine where things might be out of sync in your own life.
Mm-hmm.
So are we pushing too hard at work? Are we letting relationships kind of simmer on the back burner?
Mm-hmm.
Are we neglecting self-care? It's a gentle nudge to kind of reevaluate
Right.
and recalibrate.
Yeah, instead of waiting for that burnout to force that change, right?
Exactly.
Like 222 is kind of that, hey, heads up,
Exactly, yeah.
pay attention.
But this idea of trusting the journey,
Yeah.
that really stood out in your notes too. And it feels connected to like that divine timing concept.
Yes.
How does 222 play into that whole kind of trusting the process?
That's a key theme with 222 is this embracing patience, trusting the unfolding of life, even when, ambiguity feels a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's a really compelling account in the research about someone who was grappling with career uncertainty,
Okay.
and 222 kept appearing.
Wow.
And eventually, a path that they hadn't even considered opened up, leading to this, like, unexpected fulfillment. So it wasn't even on their radar. Wow. So it's almost like surrendering to the flow, knowing that things are kind of working out,
Yes.
even behind the scenes where we can't see yet.
Exactly. Yeah. And it can be hard, right? Because we want to control things.
Right.
We want to,
You want to know.
we want to know. We want to feel secure.
Yeah.
But it's a potent reminder that we're not always in the driver's seat,
Mm-hmm.
and that sometimes the greatest act of agency is actually trusting the journey.
It's almost like a reassurance that we're on the right track, even if it doesn't look like what we expected.
Yes.
But you also noted a connection between 222 and relationships. What's the significance there?
So 222 encourages us to nurture our existing bonds, the people that we love, our friends, our family,
Right.
but also to remain open to new connections,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
because you never know who's going to come into your life. And it's about fostering those relationships grounded in, love, trust, and understanding, recognizing that these connections are really vital, to our lives.
So whether it's deepening existing relationships
Yeah.
or being open to those new individuals kind of coming into our lives,
Yeah.
222 is a reminder that we're not meant to kind of go it alone, right?
Right. We're social creatures.
We need each other.
We need each other. Yeah.
And it's about kind of prioritizing those meaningful connections.
Precisely. It's about recognizing, how important that authentic connection is.
Yeah.
And the support that we receive from others.
This is already giving me a whole new perspective on all this time.
Yeah.
I saw 222 and didn't really think much of it.
Right.
But you also mentioned 222 being linked to manifestation,
Yes.
which, feels especially relevant to our very goal-oriented society.
For sure.
How does 222 connect to that concept of manifestation?
It can be, especially if you keep seeing it, kind of a recurring thing. It can be a really powerful sign that you're in, like a really fertile creative phase. It suggests that your energy and intentions are really starting to align. It's making it a really potent time to, like, focus on manifesting your goals.
So it's not just like wishing and hoping at that point.
No.
It's actually like putting those aligned actions
Yeah.
towards those dreams.
Exactly. It's like recognizing that, like, we have the power,
Mm-hmm.
to actually shape our reality.
Right.
And that, the universe is kind of supporting our endeavors in a way. There's a really cool story about someone in the research who had always wanted to start their own business,
Okay.
but they had all these reasons why they couldn't.
Right.
And then they started seeing 222 everywhere. And they were like, okay, maybe this is the sign I've been waiting for to just, like, finally take the leap.
Wow.
And it was, It's always challenging to start a new business.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But they ultimately found like so much success and fulfillment in actually going after their passion.
It really speaks to the power of, like, I don't know, just aligning our intentions and then actually taking action.
Yeah.
Right, because you can have all the best intentions in the world, but if you're not actually,
Putting them into action.
yeah, nothing's really going to change.
Exact.
But 222 doesn't just seem like connected to achieving like these external goals.
Right.
You also highlighted its relationship to like spiritual growth and alignment.
Yeah.
Which feels, I don't know, like a little bit of a deeper layer to this whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So what can 222 tell us about maybe our spiritual journey?
I think it's this like message that we're evolving,
Okay.
on a soul level. Like
Yeah.
we're aligning more fully with like who we really are.
Yeah.
Even if we're not totally aware of it, consciously.
For sure.
It's happening.
It's like a little beacon, I don't know,
Mhm.
reminding us that we are on the right path, even when life gets, messy.
Yes.
We kind of lose sight of that.
100%. Yeah. Like even when we feel lost,
Yeah.
it's like, nope, you're exactly where you need to be. And like having that friend,
Really, yeah.
it's like, you got this.
Yeah. That unconditional support.
Exactly.
But so it sounds like kind of the message is like trusting the unfolding of
Mhm.
our own spiritual journey,
Yeah.
even when we can't like see the destination.
Exactly. Yeah. And like not getting caught up in like, where am I going? What does it look like?
Right.
Just kind of trusting that like it's unfolding as it should.
Yeah. Just like that surrender,
Yes.
which kind of connects to, this is really fascinating. The research also kind of mentioned this idea of like unity with the universe.
Yes.
And how 222 can kind of serve as a reminder that we're not these isolated individuals,
Totally.
but we're all these like interconnected parts
Yeah.
of something so much like vaster and more profound
Yeah.
than we can even like comprehend sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, think about it. It's like we're all made of like stardust.
Right? It's wild when you really think about it.
It is.
Which I think is so important, especially today, where it's so easy to feel disconnected,
Absolutely.
not only from like each other as human beings, but also from like something larger than ourselves.
100%.
So how do we like tap into that sense of unity
Mm-hmm.
that 222 seems to kind of embody?
It starts with awareness, I think.
Yeah.
Like just by paying attention to those subtle signs, like you were talking about, those synchronicities, the repeating numbers,
Right.
we become more attuned to like, I don't know, the universe's whispers. You know what I mean?
It's like we're tuning our radio dial a little bit
Yes.
to that right frequency
Yes.
to actually pick up on those messages.
Yeah, and so when we do notice those patterns, whether it's 222 or something else,
Mm-hmm.
take a moment,
Yeah.
just to pause,
Yeah.
breathe,
Yeah.
and really like connect with that feeling of belonging
Yeah.
to something greater than yourself.
It's almost like, I don't know, 222 is this little wake-up call.
Yeah, like a little nudge.
So like, hey, pay attention
Yeah,
to these subtle ways that like the universe might be communicating with you.
precisely. Like embrace that sense of curiosity
Yeah.
and wonder about those synchronicities.
Oh, totally.
Instead of just being like, oh, that's weird, or like, that's a coincidence.
Right.
Like maybe there's something more there.
Maybe I should like look into that a little deeper.
Exactly.
Well, this whole conversation has been so illuminating. Like, it's amazing how something as simple as like a repeating number
I know.
can hold so much like depth and meaning.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
do you have any like final thoughts for our listeners?
Sure.
Any advice on like how to kind of approach these repeating numbers?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing to remember is that these interpretations are really personal.
Okay.
So, what really resonates deeply with one person might not hold the same significance for someone else, right?
Right.
So, if you're seeing 222 and something that we talked about today really clicks for you,
Yeah.
great. Like follow that thread, see where it leads you.
Trust that kind of like
And intuition.
your intuition, your gut.
Yeah, if it feels aligned, like explore that further. But if
Yeah.
it doesn't, like maybe there's a different meaning for you.
Right. It's not one size fits all.
Exactly. Yeah, and just remember, like these synchronicities, these little signs, they can be really powerful catalysts for self-discovery.
Absolutely.
They can kind of like open these doors to, new insights and new ways of seeing ourselves and the world around us.
like little guideposts along the journey.
Exactly. They can be really magical.
Well, this has been a truly fascinating deep dive, I have to say. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It was my pleasure. This
Yeah.
is like my favorite stuff to talk about, so thank you for having me.
Oh, it shows. It shows.
Mm.
Well, to everyone listening, next time you notice 222 popping up in your life, whether it's on a clock, a receipt, a license plate, wherever,
Yeah.
take a moment to pause, reflect, consider it an invitation to kind of tune in to your own inner wisdom
Yeah.
and see where this little numerical whisper might lead you on your own unique journey.
Love that.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring
Yes.
those hidden depths of our extraordinary universe.